Sweet deal. I believe we're live. Let me double check over here. Bang.
We're going live.
Yeah, we're live. Okay. Alright, I got a good connection. Oof, connection's kind of rough. I hope it don't mess us up. Okay. Let's go ahead and record. And 3, 2, 1. Hey folks, welcome to the SmackDraw Podcast, your home for all your WWE and AEW recaps, reviews, pay-per-view predictions. Of course, like always, it's Kyle here, joined today by, we got Sebastian with us, we got Benji, and then newcomer Vince. How's it going, Vince?
Hey, how's it going, Kyle? Glad to be on the show.
Yeah, good, man. Sorry if I'm down, man. We've had a long day, buddy, but we're here to bring you your 205 Live and NXT recaps. Man, hell of good shows, man. Got to see debuts, new stars upcoming. Really, really good shows, in my opinion. We are, of course, a pro wrestling podcast. If you are listening to us, you can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, I don't know, iTunes, Google Play. We're on YouTube. We're actually live streaming right now on YouTube. Make sure to go ahead and chat.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Live. Okay.
Yeah, man. If I'm hosting, we're live. But make sure to chat with us in the chat box. Like, subscribe, help us get to that 100 subscriber mark. Help us get that custom URL. We of course do have YouTube exclusive content coming very soon. I think Benji, you were filling me in on some stuff you might have in the works. Super exciting. Little something. We won't give it away just yet, but definitely something, man. Something good in the works. I'm excited. Lastly, our show is pretty much just a couple of guys that talk wrestling with each other. But of course, we would like to talk to you, so you're always welcome to follow us on Twitter at SmackDrawPod. You can find myself at The Kai Tai Show. And you know what? I'll let my three co-hosts to go ahead and introduce themselves. Let them know where you can talk to them at.
All right. You can find me at Calavera Comedy on Twitter, Instagram, Craigslist, all that stuff. You know where to hit me up.
Personal ads and Craigslist.
It's still a thing if you know who to ask.
Oh, okay. You can find me at SESvince on all social media platforms, IG, Twitter, YouTube. I still have a YouTube channel. Don't really use it, but you can feel free to subscribe. Not just me, but the show as well.
At WrestlingFan_32, and that's it.
Man, a few words. Look at him.
Yeah.
That's all I got, dude. I don't have a YouTube. or a backwoods Craigslist. So
We won't find Sebastian in the personal ads, is what he's trying to say.
you will not find me in the first.
Yeah. Oh man, I think that was it. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. You get the gist of it. Gist of it rather. So we're here to talk 205 Live and NXT. If you can't already tell by the thumbnail, huge debut. Time traveler himself, Kushida, made his 205 Live debut. What'd y'all think of this?
Oh, I freaking loved it. I'm like a huge Kushida guy. He was like one of the main reasons I used to like order like New Japan pay-per-views was to watch him wrestle. And the fact that I got to like see him on the 205 Live acting, huge plus for me. Made the show for me.
Yeah, it was
dude.
not surprise.
I wasn't. Nope. I don't think anybody was expecting it. It just came out of nowhere, and I think Dio Madden, the new NXT commentator, he hit the best line when he was talking about how he loves Kushida. I love Kush. Everybody loves Kush.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. Since they took out Nigel McGuinness out of commentary and brought in Dio Madden from NXT, making his pretty much his first televised debut. He hasn't got a chance to come up on TV yet, and I think he did pretty good. But the shock of seeing Kushida here on 205 Live, it's definitely, I don't think anybody could have predicted. You have to go back into the future to predict that.
The time traveler, man.
The time-
Only he knew.
I loved his entrance at Wrestle Kingdom this year with that scary ass
the little
like realistic baby
Kushida?
mask. Yeah. Oh my god, that was terrifying. Yeah, that was no good.
But they started off the show. He was facing Brian Kendrick over here with Tozawa. Oh no, wait, we're still in that match. We skipped to Kushida, right? So they've ended up facing Tozawa and Kendrick. He ended up teaming with Jack Gallagher.
Gallagher came out spitting some Biggie Small.
Some notorious bars, yeah.
This is the last thing I expected.
Did it in his very like British poem style or whatever.
Wait,
Right.
so I have a question here. So I haven't been able to keep up with 205 Live recently. This is the first episode I've watched in a while. Oh, and Kendrick faces, or what's going on? Because I thought last time I checked, Jack Gallagher was a heel and Kushida's a face. So for them to team, kind of just felt. That's the only thing that, like in my mind, I wasn't sure what was happening, why they were teaming up together, what's the face heel dynamic in 205 Live right now.
Yeah, that one was a little strange because Kendrick and Tozawa were definitely and then we had Gallagher searching for a partner, and he was more on the healer side of things, and then randomly bringing Kushida, and yeah, it doesn't stick with the continuity of anything. I think it was more so bringing in Kushida at Madison Square Garden and just having a match. I don't know if it added to anything or if it's going to be a permanent stay. So yeah, it does. If you look at it like storyline wise, I don't know. It doesn't really fit in.
Okay, because that was my main concern. I was like, man, am I out of the loop of 205 Live that much? Like, the dynamic here. Okay, so like I wasn't just like losing my mind there.
No,
like,
no.
That didn't make any sense.
No, they just brought in Kushida.
Oh man, I want to see those two guys in a singles series of matches, man.
The good thing about Kushida is they have been treating him as a big deal. They've been bringing people, even when he's on NXT, they bring in people from NXT UK. They bring people from 205 Live, from the main roster, like treating him like a big deal, which is good. You know, obviously, elsewhere, and then come over here, and then they don't really give him the proper treatment. You know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to balance that. I mean, I'm just happy to see like the matches that we got going on now are good. Hopeful in the future. We're suffering from a bloated roster that, for the most part, everybody is super talented. I was watching a What Culture video earlier today, and one of them, Adam Pacitti, was complaining that like great matches just don't do it for him anymore, and it's because like anywhere you go, you can now see insane level matches. It's nuts. It's so I don't know. Like it's hard to get everyone the perfect shine. I don't know. It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
I mean, one thing that 205 Live does really good that I've noticed and doesn't really stick too much is that they try to pair up like superstars together so they can be on screen more often, which is a New Japan type of deal where they just have a bunch of factions. And 205 Live kind of does that to try to make sure everybody gets some screen time. But like then the partnerships kind of like unravel, and then like they're not heard of again. Like randomly, like Tony Nese last week just joined up with Drew Gulak again, even though they had a rivalry a couple months back.
Right.
I agree with that. I feel like they've hot-shotted Nese's sudden turn into heel and brought on Rose before he became champion, teaming up with Daivari again and Nese after battling for so long, getting past him, becoming champion, losing, and then joins them right away. Yeah, they definitely rushed that whole build instead of just slowly building up to him becoming that heel.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Given the recent news, do you think it's a big deal, or do you think we can just get showcase matches? Considering, I guess it just broke that the plan is to what I predicted. 205 Live is going to be dissolved, and it looks like absorbed into NXT. So, do we try to get one last big story out of all of this, or do we just do a bunch of showcase matches and just let it naturally occur?
Well, the news is, especially with wrestling, you always want to, not take it for a grain of salt, but kind of just want to do a little bit of research and everything. Because that article referring to absorbed into NXT, whatever, was taken from a Newsweek article in which Triple H, all he had said was NXT UK was going to be under the banner of NXT, and that would be 205 Live as well under the banner of it. That was all he said about it. And then I believe the headline from the article you're referring to started talking about how it's just going to be dissolved completely and just everything's going to be NXT. So you always want to kind of be careful with when you read these kind of.
Well, damn it, Benji, I had to work 12 hours today, okay? I saw a headline and I ran with it, okay? I'm sorry.
I'm just.
Man.
I do think that it will be.
I probably should have fact-checked myself, yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense, especially given the extra time NXT is going to be taking up now.
Well, see,
and I think it would be so much more appreciated at Full Sail, man.
To add to that point, I think the problem is NXT itself is bloated already. It has so much talent, even talent they haven't even put on TV. And now, allegedly going to move 205 Live there and expand that. So much people are going to get lost in the shuffle. To me, it would have made more sense to, if you're going to absorb it to anything, you might as well have just combined that with NXT UK and had something there. And because you're going to have so much people that are just going to get lost in the shuffle of NXT and then being live on TV and everything. It's going to start changing and becoming a different dynamic. It's going to end up changing the whole. It's going to become a fundamental shift in the show.
The thing there, Benji, though, is that like you have to take into account that these are guys and guys that are wrestlers in the States. They don't really want to move to the United Kingdom to wrestle over there. So I'm sure there'll be some maybe just stay on main roster, and then the rest would go to NXT. Especially with NXT going 2 hours, we need right now to like give all these guys some time on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very good point. No, you
don't
bring
think
up a solid point.
205 roster is going to NXT. Like you said, guys like a Jack Gallagher could be going to UK. Lucha House Party on a main roster to bulk up a very thin tag. I mean, there's spots where you put all these guys.
I don't want to see the Lucha House Party on main roster. It just
unfortunately they've treated them as a joke basically on
that's
main
what
roster.
I'm saying.
Just a fill spot, and they're so much better than that.
Well, we haven't seen them under a Paul Heyman Raw though. I mean, they just threw Grand Metalik out there and let him show out against Rey Mysterio. I mean, we're going from where they was.
Who do you think that was more for,
though?
Who do you think that was more for? Because to me, this is a weird one, and I know there's multiple ways you can look at it. I feel like Grand Metalik never would have got that time if it wasn't for Ray's story. Like I don't think I don't know if they're really trying to build him up, or if it was just get a guy that's going to have great chemistry with Rey Mysterio. I mean, shoot, it may have been Ray just handpicking his own opponent.
True, but look at the success of the 205 Live guys since Paul's came. I mean, you look at Buddy Murphy, he's great. Cedric's great. Paul knows how to maximize guys. That's always been his thing. If he has somebody, he's going to match him. And the tag division's very thin. They don't have a lot of depth right now, unfortunately. I mean, they don't have to be tag champs, don't get me wrong, but I think they're used more proper just to showcase their skills and all that. They won't be like they were before. And who knows, maybe they go to NXT and they bring 2 randoms from 205 and make a tag team out of them. I mean, there's different ways to use a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, back to the match. It did come to an end. There was a miscommunication between Tozawa and Kendrick, which led to Kushida locking in the hoverboard lock, right?
Is it still the hoverboard lock, or did they change the name to it?
I think it's still the hoverboard lock.
I don't even
It sounds
remember what the
It's
name
bad.
of the move was.
It sounded like they said something like the soccer mora, soccer something like that. 'Cause
Oh,
like I
yeah.
said, I
The
couldn't hear
Sakuraba
sound.
lock, or just like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
a
I couldn't hear
Kimura.
this because I was watching in my car on the way home while my wife was driving the same time when I got home and blasting freaking insane. So it was tough to hear the commentary.
Well, yeah. So Kushida got Kendrick to tap out. Yeah, man, and Kushida looks great on his 205 Live debut. Let's go ahead. Let's do some early predictions, man. What's his ceiling? What's Kushida's ceiling, man?
I mean, that's it for me.
I mean, I totally see that, man. The guy's got everything you need, man. I don't see that. Why can't he NXT champ? Why not?
Did you say world champ? You cut out there, so I actually didn't hear what the ceiling was.
You know what? Yeah, put him world champion. Make him world champion. Why not?
Okay,
Said
yeah,
NXT
Universal Champion. He beats Brock at WrestleMania 2021. Okay.
North American.
Okay.
North American champ. That's a good one.
Wait, as a ceiling, like that's as far as he's gonna get?
I mean, title-wise, there's accolades you could add.
Well, no,
but
what are
what's the
you trying
biggest
to say?
title?
Go
What's
ahead.
the biggest title he'll get in WWE?
You're
We know
snickering
we-
over there. What do you mean?
We know Triple H is a huge Kushida fan.
I mean, quick question: is the IC title or the NXT title the bigger title? Like in you guys' eyes,
Ooh, NXT.
NXT.
Yeah.
Even after all the prestige of the IC title, you're gonna
Well,
say NXT?
don't, man. I don't want to defend myself. Just NXT title, okay?
In today's world, yeah.
I can totally see him being NXT champion down the line, but if he ever gets brought up to main roster, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets one of the mid card titles. I just like the way they book the wrestlers, like especially like if you're a smaller guy and you're like a foreigner too, it's very hard to get to that WWE or Universal title level. Like few guys have done it. Like Ray's one of the few exceptions that I can remember. Eddie did it. Like I can't remember. Like they haven't even put the title on Shinsuke, even though he probably should have.
James Ellsworth was
WrestleMania.
almost WWE champ.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
He had 3 title matches.
We don't speak of that. We don't
I
speak of
hate you
that.
for bringing that up.
Oh,
Then he
man.
went on to make some lewd gestures allegedly to an underage girl. That's nice.
Yeah, that's what we want to bring up on this podcast.
How
That's
the,
what we're
how
all
the
about.
mighty have fallen.
Oh man. But I think
Wow.
that is the ceiling NXT champion. Let's get back to Kushida.
Yeah. Let's get back to wrestling. Yeah, Kushida NXT champion definitely. Now, do you see him beating Adam Cole, or does he beat somebody else?
Oh, someone else. He's not going to
He
cross
beats
paths with
Roderick
Cole.
Strong for a North American.
Okay.
I can see that being like in his immediate future, but down the line he's gonna get.
Right.
I see him winning another Cruiserweight Classic. I bet you they bring back the Cruiserweight Classic and he wins one.
I mean, we've been saying they're gonna bring back the Cruiserweight Classic since the first one. I don't think they have.
See,
Fine.
the first one, I don't think they thought it was going to be that wild because they were going out on that show, man.
Dude,
you had Ibushi's, they were
You
doing
had
like they were
Ibushi
killing each
on
other,
your
man.
show. You had Kota Ibushi.
Zack Sabre
WWE
Jr.
Yeah.
programming.
Yo, they were wilding out on that show, man, and then I don't think they were expecting that they were going to go that out on that show because the second one they toned it down.
No, they didn't have a second one.
Yeah,
They had
The
2
one?
Mae
Yeah, you're
Young
right.
women's
I'm
champions.
thinking Mae Young, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. They only had the one because they went out on that show, man. Gargano versus
Dude, we saw a
Ciampa, man.
burning
Like,
hammer from Brian Kendricks.
these people were out to kill each other on that show.
Brian
Dude.
Kendricks hit a burning hammer and then made friggin' Daniel Bryan cry on air because Daniel Bryan was so proud of his old buddy. I remember that junk, man. That got real. That was a legit tournament, man.
With 205 Live being absorbed into NXT and Triple H being at the helm fully of the show, he can go ahead and bring back the Cruiserweight Classic and just like the title match. Like, you can include NXT guys, you can include UK guys, and obviously the current 205 Live roster.
Yep.
See down the line.
God, what an incredible gem that came out of WWE's WWE Network.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They would
Cruiserweight
have
Classic.
to. They definitely have to do mostly in roster. AEW ain't letting nobody go, and I don't.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't see New Japan letting any of their guys go.
Wasn't
They
that
have
what
to-
they're kind of doing with the whole worlds collide concept?
Dude, that is
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
I'll wait and see. I'll reserve my judgment for that. But I mean, if you are taking over Takeover spot, you probably are taking it very seriously, because you know the attention Takeover gets. So, yeah, who knows? Like, that might be a big thing.
That's pretty much it. Then what did we have next on this show? Was it the Bollywood Boys?
I don't know. I skipped that part.
Yeah, we did have the Singh brothers talking about spiritual healing and man.
See, the problem is you guys are not in touch with your Zen. You know, you're feng shui. You gotta align your karma.
Skip it as soon as I see them.
Oh my gosh. This
disrespect.
is what they were trying to say, because they were saying that we deserve more than for Sebastian out in Kentucky skipping our 5 seconds of screen time that we're given.
That's 4 seconds too much, man.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, Benji, what is it about these guys? What is it about them that you constantly stick up for them for?
See, as a recipient of an award for acting, you know, I can relate to them on a professional level, right? And there's just something so powerful about having the power of 1.4 billion people backing you, you know?
Are they
And
really are they really getting backed by that many people?
Yes.
I would predict a billion of those 1.4 don't even know who the fuck they are.
I was there and Jinder Mahal won it in Chicago. Man, like, y'all don't know.
Wait,
I've been back.
is
what?
is that where he beat Randy
Randy.
Orton?
In Backlash, yeah.
That's where he won the title, was in Chicago.
That was in Chicago. Oh yeah, that was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Benji. Oh snap, dude.
Dude, like, they showed the crowd, you know, all sad, whatever. But nah, people were
Yeah.
happy for this.
I
dude,
was
man.
I
Like,
was cheering at my
You
house. I was losing my
Since
stuff.
I've known Benji and Vince, I've kind of been wanting to go to Chicago to watch some wrestling, but that kind of turned me off.
Us cheering for
guy.
Jinder Mahal.
Yep.
Honestly, if in any wrestling market, if you see a title change, you're just gonna cheer for it. You're just gonna be like, "Oh snap!" Unless it's someone completely hated, like there's not like
Who are you gonna
10,000.
say? Who are you gonna say?
I was trying to like rack up names, like who would get booed, and honestly, the only person I can think of is Baron Corbin and Shane McMahon if they won the title.
Oh god.
Oh yes.
Dude,
Put the title on Shane McMahon.
Jesus, no. God, no.
So you know what? It's just one of those things. You find someone that you know what they can do, and you stick by them. You know, you through thick and thin. You know, and y'all like to trash the Bollywood boys. You know what? I guess we're just on a different karmic level.
Oh my gosh.
The Undertaker rigged too.
Next up, Mike Kanellis being interviewed about his
You
victory.
reincarnated as a shovel. You know.
Oh,
All right, so we had the awesome promo by the thing after that.
Yeah, Kanellis is being interviewed. listen, like, I know he had some good points to make, but when's he gonna win his wife over? Like, like Maria does not give a damn, dude. She clips his balls at every chance she can. Now it's not even a matter of like, oh, you're not winning, and now it's like you're winning meaningless matches. Like, what does this man got to do? What does he have to do to win her?
Got to win the
affection?
title. Bring home the gold.
Yeah, dude, she seems like the type of person to be like, well, it's not the WWE title. Like, after he wins Cruiserweight strap.
I'm thinking from a storyline perspective. I'm thinking that it's probably like, if she, congratulates him for winning that, then it's like he'll take his foot off the gas pedal and just be content with that, I guess from a storyline, if they are as creative as they can be, I'm thinking like this is a way to like keep pushing him to get the title or something like that. That's being very optimistic about what they're doing.
Okay.
Or they could just be cutting his balls off every moment.
Yeah, just clipping his balls, So next up we had the main event. Humberto Carrillo with Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik taking on...
You're rolling your R's now. Okay, congratulations.
There you go.
I always roll my R's. What are you guys talking about? Gulag, Nice, and Davari.
Well, to be fair, it was originally just going to be Nice and Gulag versus Dorado and Humberto Carrillo, but Davari and the tag them, which led to the six-man tag.
Teddy Long's tag match player.
Have a tag match player. It was terrible.
And then we got that. Yeah, it turned into that tag match. And I don't know. What did you guys think about this match?
It's madness.
Don't speak all at once.
Couldn't tell you, man. I was too distracted by an asshole crap.
Yeah. So I guess we'll
there was a
talk
baby
about
in the crowd. There was a baby in the crowd, and gosh. Okay, now, folks.
Where is Gene Snitsky when you need? Gotta punt and kick that baby.
Oh my
Oh my!
Don't care about no damn baby.
Oh my god!
Like, you love your kid. That's fine. That's great. Y'all took over. Like, I ain't trying to watch your kid. Like I ain't trying to see that. We had this baby. It hijacked the whole match. Like they had to dim the lights. They had to turn. It was bad.
What a dingus crowd, man! What a dingus crowd.
I mean, look, I ain't trying to be city versus city, but I mean, New York is known as a trash place for a reason. I'm just saying. But like,
wow,
they had that wave. They were doing all that kind of weird stuff. I don't know, man.
On Raw, they did the wave, had CM Punk. I don't know, man. Like, I don't understand why people paid money for each ticket.
Let me ask y'all that are not from Chicago. Why do people outside of Chicago chant CM?
Why do we chant it?
Yeah, you guys that are not from the city.
I always took it as people are just not happy with the product, and that's how you air your displeasure.
I hate CM Punk. Like, I don't understand why you chant for somebody that's been away for.
Yeah.
Like, if you think somebody's been underused, chant their name. Don't chant somebody that's not.
How about you guys that are watching the live stream over there? I see you. Why would you chant CM Punk at a WWE show?
For example, if you think Apollo's underused, chant Apollo.
Chant Apollo, yeah.
I mean, if you there's all this talent people will say that aren't used right or all this crap, but you're sitting there chanting CM Punk.
Yeah.
I don't
know, man. Like I said, I think it's just a way of, because what would they chant before CM Punk when people were pissed off?
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it was Daniel Bryan.
And look what happened.
He became one of the biggest stars ever.
Exactly. But now we're going to chant for
y'all
somebody.
chant CM Punk and make him get his ass beat in UFC a couple times.
Hey! I'm not gonna stand here with that disrespect.
I mean, he did get his ass beat.
On Joe Rogan's podcast, they dropped some of the. Whoa! Why am I hearing my own voice now? That's weird. But he said CM Punk was untalented. Thought that was pretty cold.
All the CM Punk slander, man. Whatever. So yeah, we had that crowd, chanting all that stuff, which took away from a lot of the match. It was a decent match, but it just
Is anyone else getting that feedback?
out of everything. It was kind of. What kind of feedback?
When you talk, you repeat yourself, almost like someone's audio is coming out and picking up on their microphone. This is an awkward silence. Hey, that's better.
Hello.
Hello?
We back on live. We're all good.
I mean, we've been live. That was just really weird.
Can you hear me?
Is that Seb or Vince?
No, it's me. It's Seb.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So sorry, guys. That was my bad. I was having some connection issues. I was trying to see if I can swap over to my phone and maybe do that, but I was just having some issues there. That's all that was.
That was
me.
some weird feedback, man. That was like everything started echoed. Oh my god, you almost broke the show, Vince. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
But see, that's a perfect example of how the main event was. You know?
Yo, guys, real quick, can you all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine, Seb. You're a little muffled, but I hear you.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Your all sound is coming from my phone and not my headset.
So a little technical difficulty here, people. Everyone that are watching live, just be patient a little bit. But
Spaceline
that
says
was
he
pretty
can hear us.
Okay, cool. That was pretty much 205 Live. It was a very lackluster main event, not so much due to their fault, just through crowd shenanigans. And that's how we ended 205 Live.
We didn't even say who won.
It didn't even matter.
Carrillo won with Dorado and Metalik, okay?
It was actually Dorado that picked up the win. Who he pinned, but I know it was specifically him.
Pinned Gulak, yeah, he pinned the champion.
Oh, well, that's good because it leads into Clash of Champions challenging for the title as well.
Yeah, that was probably the only highlight at this point. Who do you think comes out of that as the champion?
I mean, we're going to have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll wait till tomorrow. Prediction show.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
So next up, if you can't tell if you're watching live stream, NXT. NXT, man, oh my god, they just managed to kill it. I remember watching NXT tonight and going, boy, AEW, you guys have your hands full. This isn't going to be the walk in the park that it originally seemed like it was. But
I think what happened was that people were pitting AEW versus the main roster.
Against Raw.
Raw and SmackDown. Not necessarily pitting it against NXT because people liked NXT. They don't want...
Yeah.
They like both of those shows. They didn't want to. They wanted the main roster to be better, but they switched it, and now it's something NXT versus AEW. Regardless if people want a war or not, that's just how things are.
I just want good wrestling, man. I just want good stuff to watch. Especially because we're obligated to do this. I don't want to be obligated to watch shitty wrestling. It's never gonna be fun.
Yeah, you want to see good matches. Like, for example, how we start off the show.
Rhea Ripley pulling up in a baller SUV. I love the backstage. I don't know what it is, what cameras they use, but their recording quality is always nice and crisp. But yeah, we started off the show with Ripley arriving. Yeah, I like it. Spaceline in our chat, he says, I feel like AEW is moving too fast, and that's going to be their downfall. They're taking on too much. That's what they're doing. But yeah, who was our debut match? I don't have the notes here, but who kicked us off after Ripley arrived?
I believe it was Damian Priest's match that kicked things off
against Boa.
Yeah,
real quick.
Go ahead.
Here's my daughter plug. All right, you know how
all right, Rob.
They grow up watching wrestling, right? And they believe it's real,
Sure.
And it makes it so much better. Well, Damian Priest comes out, and my daughter goes, "Who's that guy?" And I said, "Damian Priest."
because she don't watch much NXT. She mostly watches Raw in Spanish. She says, "He looks cool. That might be my new favorite guy character." She said character.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
no.
And I was like, "What? What did you just say?" She said, "My new favorite guy character." And I was sad but proud at the same time because she's so damn smart, but kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
mean, I
what
get. Yeah. That'll be an interesting one when I go through with my
But
boys.
you remember your first time?
I remember
But,
being in.
I-
I remember being in the 4th grade, and I remember like my class breaking out into like a really loud debate over if wrestling was real or fake. Just remember kids just yelling at each other that it's real, or the other one's feeling it's fake.
I'll be.
But fourth grade, she's 4. Like, she just turned 4, so it
So,
blew my mind.
She's
I'll
smarter
give
than
you,
everyone that I grew up with.
Like, it blew my mind. I was like, "What?"
Oh.
For me, it was probably when the whole combination of Eddie Guerrero dying, Chris Benoit dying, like that's when things changed for me. Like it's when you started figuring out the behind the scenes stuff and all that stuff.
That's interesting you mentioned that, Benji, because I remember, like, I don't know why, it just literally just came into my mind right now, but there were kids that were blaming Mr. Kennedy for Eddie Guerrero's death because he hit him with the chair
Yeah.
shot, because there weren't like any like information going out. We just didn't know what was going on with Eddie. We just knew he had passed away, especially given that he was just on SmackDown the week prior. I think that's when slowly everything just kind of started to unravel for me.
Yeah,
That's-
because then you had remember you had Vince McMahon supposedly die on screen,
yeah,
and then he's back the next day. It's like, what's going on? You know, like the hell? Like
kind of
no,
shows
I
our age.
I thought you
to be
blew
honest.
up.
I know, right?
Space Lion's still in the chat. He says it's still real to me. Damn it.
But no, I took Eddie's death hard, man. I remember me and my step family at the time. Dad, well, they wasn't married, but Dad's girlfriend's kids. We made like signs and shit that night, and with just his accolades and like, "We miss you." We went, we hung them at school tonight. We took
Wow.
that shit. We did.
This is, I guess I'll show my age a little bit. I got a call on a landline. Yeah, we used to have landlines back in the day.
Yeah,
from
I remember.
my cousin. He was like, "Hey, you know, guess what? Eddie died, whatever," and just talking like that shit because he lived in a different state. Talking like that, and it was just like, for me, it was like the first time. So, because it was for y'all, but for me, it was like Eddie felt like part of, like, you know, you felt like, okay, that's Latino heat, you know, like you felt that shit. Like
Yeah.
that was
Oh yeah.
you know,
And,
like it's
the-
just deep, you know.
his whole thing about his whole story with Brock and his addictions and overcoming that stuff being brought to fruition, that really blurred the lines, man. And that you felt that passion. Like it was incredible.
I mean, it's not only that, I think, like, connected to everyone, but like it hit different for like Benji said, Latinos. Like,
Yes.
we didn't get representation like that. Like, growing up, like, I didn't really see any like Latinos like as top guys or stuff like that.
What are you
It
talking
wasn't
about?
until
Y'all had
like
Kurt
Eddie-
and White, man.
Come on.
This Kerwin White.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm trying to have like a serious moment here. I'm trying to like.
I'm sorry. No, that's insensitive. I'm sorry. All right.
No,
that's-
Yo,
fine.
you had the one kid that Lita first came out with, didn't you? Wasn't he?
S.A. Rios.
Okay,
I remember Rios,
Yeah.
man. Oh,
Oh, my-
dude.
Yeah, you had him.
He was the Latino
wasn't-
Mark Marrow. Just like,
He wasn't Mexican. I think he might have been like.
I thought he was Puerto Rican, no?
I don't know, man. I was at the time like 14 and I lived in Maine, okay? Everybody was Mexican. All right? Like,
Oh my gosh. Kyle. Oh man, I think we're
Oh,
getting sidetracked.
The privilege in this room is too much.
oh,
But see,
God.
this is what it's like you were saying. What for a lot of people don't understand.
No, absolutely not.
For us, you know, yeah, you had S3s, you had people like that, but they only got so far, and then you had Eddie come in, and he changed the game, man. Like it was just like he was the top guy up there. Like it was just he was everywhere. Like especially during that time, that particular time for Latinos, man. Like that was like the perfect time for him to come up to it, and it just hit everybody so like it was just at like a personal level. Like you felt like he was part of your family, you know. Like
Yeah.
it just hit you there, man. Like,
It was actually the first, like, I'd never really experienced death like that, like, growing up.
yes.
First, like, I didn't knew him personally, but I saw him on a weekly basis, and his death really hit
Yes.
close to home.
Yeah.
Being gone, like, that really hit close to home for me. So, like, his everything just kind of, like, changed everything in terms of kayfabe for me in wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. Like at the time, it's controversial now, but I mean, you can't see the future. But at the time, Chris Benoit was my favorite wrestler, and watching like how tore up that dude, he was not reserved at all, man. When they were doing the memorial, that guy was out of it, man, freaking out, and yeah, that killed me, man. Like it really did. But yeah, no, I hear you now, because Ray didn't hit his peak until after Eddie died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't. It's like they didn't give a lot of shots until that happened, unfortunately.
yeah.
So if we have this like, there's that legacy already in WWE that Eddie left and that Rey Mysterio carried, and we see him moving on, and especially guys coming up like Damien we had in this match against Boa. Like it's just different guys that are finally getting opportunities, you know. And it's
Two
more
minorities right there. Puerto
Right.
Rican, Damian Priest is actually Puerto Rican, and then Boa Chinese.
Which-
like I
yeah,
don't see too many Chinese guys in WWE.
I think
And
he
in
came in
Western
with
sports
Zaya,
altogether.
He came in with Zaya Lee. I think they're the only two left from that the people they got from
Yeah, they
China.
they
There's only
pretty
two of
much
them
cut
left.
everyone over the last year that was at the China tryouts.
Yeah, it's Boa and Zaya Lee. They're the only ones that have been out here. And I think pro wrestling is relatively new in China as well. I think it's only been around since 2015. I think in China. It's not that long. It's not that old over there. But yeah, to see this opportunity to two minorities in the United States, you know, get this chance, whatever, and then we see like a Damian Priest, just
Dude.
how his whole character is
I
affected.
love his
here.
damn
Like,
Falcon arrow, bro. I'm sorry. I'm
Dude,
sorry to not be on
it's
such a
big.
deep level right now. Now it's
No,
just
no,
want
it's
to fan out.
transitioning,
Yeah.
it's transitioning.
His
No,
Falcon
it's
arrow, he tosses him like a quarter way across the ring, dude. Like
Yeah,
he does it.
His strikes are so hard too. Like there were times where I wasn't looking up because I was doing something, and then his strikes that he was hitting Boa with woke me up. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? It's-
Yeah. No, I know. And Boa was trying to bring it back. When they were bringing up Boa and they were like, Boa's like a striker.
Everybody else
and
is
Priest
as-
needs to look out
as
for his
like your
striking. I was like,
daughter's
I don't
family.
know, man. It's like Damian Priest got those nasty kicks, dude. He does.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I mean,
Oh.
what I was gonna say is that I was on his show a couple of times when he
You completely.
different. Maybe I just didn't see enough about the guy, but man, he had star written all over him. And over there in NXT as Damian Priest, I'm so invested.
Yeah,
See,
Yeah, like
he was Killer
show-
Martinez, right?
Punishment Martinez.
Punishment
Martinez.
Martinez. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with prior to
It's
NXT.
one of those things that like certain guys like you take like an Apollo Crews for example, like same scenario, like doesn't hit for everybody in the indies whatever, and then when they come up here you would you have to transition. You have to find something that works for you. Apollo Crews, Tony Nese are the first to come to mind, where they have all the athleticism all and everything, but just something's missing. And then we get a Damian Priest here. You can clearly tell this is all his inspiration. It's just obvious, like it's just certain stuff that you can't write for somebody, And to see him develop that and find his little foothold here in NXT in such a stacked roster, already standing out. Like those are the little things that take you to the next level.
I do like part of his intro is the graphic right above the ring. You don't see anyone else utilize that spot. So that's pretty cool. When he walks in the ring and it has his name like burning in fire like directly above the ring. That's unique because I don't recall ever seeing anything like that prior to him. What's his finish? Like, how did he win the match? I forget.
It's kind of like a crossroads type of finisher.
Okay.
after. I forgot what it was actually called, but like he just hit Boa with it like towards like the end of the match and just sealed it there. And he had like this confidence about him too when he had the covers. Like he knew what he was doing and he knew this was no challenge for him. Even commentary even sold that. It's like he's ready for the next level of competition.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems, especially because he got a win over Keith Lee, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Man, that's what's breaking my heart, man. Keith Lee is my dude. I've been saying it ever since me and Sebastian started doing this show. Not Sebastian, Benji, started doing this show. That I want Keith Lee to have world straps ASAP. Like I don't even want to see him struggle. I just want him in the world title picture, man. But his whole story.
Is he a new Samoa Joe though?
I think what ended up hurting Keith Lee, he was starting to have a little feud with Dijak, and then Dijak getting hurt, and then Dijak getting hurt, just killed that feud completely. And then people passed him up while they were injured. That's the bad thing about being in NXT. Once you get injured, people pass you up, you know. And Keith Lee has everything to be the top guy. He's got everything there. I mean, this guy is the guy that Dusty Rhodes put on, you know.
Yeah.
He has it all there, but Dusty Rhodes, even in the Indies, was like this guy has everything.
That's right.
This
No,
guy
now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, you're right. I remember that now.
So it's one of those things, you know, like once they transition to the new program, the new show, are we going to see these guys start to get opportunities and start rising? Because there's a lot of talent.
Yeah. And speaking of questioning, like, when they're going to transition or if they're going to transition, Johnny Gargano came out to probably arguably the longest damn ovation in NXT history. Oh my God,
mean, deservedly
dude.
so.
I wonder, was that, like, I'm starting to wonder if they edited that down. that was yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, back to Damian Priest.
Oh, okay.
Am I wrong when I say he's the only one? And I just noticed this after the match. I thought it was kind of unique. He put his jacket back on.
Oh,
And did his
yes.
pose.
Oh,
like he's completely done with this guy. He's gonna go out and party or whatever.
yeah, I was waiting for Cameron Grimes to do the same thing. I didn't even notice Damian Priest do it.
Yeah, he put his jacket, like the jacket he wore out, back on and did his little pose under the light. Like I've never seen anybody put their stuff back on after
Their
match
entrance
like that.
gear.
I just thought that was a nice touch. Yeah, I just thought that was a nice touch.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't even notice that. Wow, good look.
Yeah, good look, man. Gargano, man, who saw this coming? Who thought he was going to main roster? I personally, I didn't think he was going nowhere.
Actually, last week I did call it Shane.
What's that?
I said last week I did call it Shane Thorne.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that was. It was weird because, you know, as obvious as it was that Shane Thorne would be the one to interrupt him, I didn't expect it when it was happening. I was so caught up in the moment. Something about Gargano is so genuine that, like, to be a babyface, you have to, like, there's got to be, like, a genuine essence to your personality, like, that you don't put on for character. Like, Gargano just seems like he's got to be, like, I mean, granted, he's a human being and stuff, but something about him just seems absolutely genuine, and it makes him probably the easiest face to get behind. Because, you know, honestly, faces nowadays aren't really cool. They're kind of difficult to cheer. They're kind of cringy. With Gargano, you want to cheer this dude night and day. Hence the crowd, man. Hence the damn crowd losing their stuff over him for, like, what felt like an eternity, where he had to cut them off. But I mean, the segment was, I mean, it was what it was. It was a face segment. He comes out to address the crowd. You know, what's next for me? Am I moving on? And before he can give his decision, Shane Thorne interrupts him. He's doing the same thing that he's been doing. Gargano gets too much TV time. Shane Thorne doesn't get enough. Tells Gargano to take his, to bow and take his leave. Similar to what we had with The Undertaker. But Gargano, as he was leaving the ring, says, you know what? You're right. I am NXT, and I ain't going nowhere. I wish at this point I had a gif of Leonardo DiCaprio from The Wolf of Wall Street. He's like, I'm not leaving. Like, because that's exactly all I could think about. He super kicked the hell out of Shane Thorne. and then did the whole Bret Hart writing in the air thing, but he wrote out NXT for life, which was dope as hell, man. It was cool. It was cool, man. I can't do the segment no justice. It was a lot of fun.
You know, it's really kind of sad, this episode. You see all these guys that's totally bleeds in NXT. Johnny Gargano, Ciampa, it's been very open about not wanting to go up. And just know tonight that even though I'm not one of these guys that think NXT is going to go under and now they're going live and all this stuff, I think it's still going to be a great show. But it's still the end of an era, in a way. Just going live 2 hours. They're going to have to do things differently. So, I don't know. It's just this. I'm excited for it, but it's kind of just being sad about the end of the era.
How
Last 5 years of NXT.
The guys watching, how do you guys think it's going to affect the product going live instead of being pre-taped? Are the matches going to take a hit? The story's going to become less relevant? Or do you think it's going to just chug along and we're going to get just a longer version of what we already like?
It's really hard to say.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's really hard to say until we see. I mean, we already know apparently they're takeover out in January. So are they going to do? We don't know when the takeovers are going to be. We don't know how far apart they're going to be, and that's going to play. You know what the weekly stuff. Yeah, they're going to have really good matches, all this stuff. But if they're shorter every 4 or 5 weeks, then they can kind of lean a little less heavy on the long 20, 25-minute matches that we sometimes. So it's really too early to tell. The whole product will be a thing.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good point. I mean, it's bittersweet, right? It's like a graduation. It's like just that transition from being the young brand, being an adolescent brand, to now going out on the world basically on your own to adulthood. It's just one of those things where it's like the future is uncertain. You know what you've done. You're proud of what you've done, but you don't know where it's gonna head. And the future's always uncertain. But I feel like they've built a foundation that whether they land on their feet, it doesn't even matter. It's just they're ready to take that shot, and just go for it, which is one of those things that you can apply to everything,
I got a question. I got a question. With NXT being brought up and seen now, you'd have to argue it's on the same network that Monday Night Raw is on. It can no longer be a developmental territory story-wise, kayfabe-wise. Survivor Series, Clash of Champions. Is NXT now going to be involved in the main roster crossover feuds and pay-per-view events? No,
I don't think so.
Thing.
Yeah,
At least
Triple
not
H has
till
already
Survivor
said,
Series.
as far as like creative and stuff, I mean, nothing's changed.
Yeah, to me, it seems that direction they're heading is when you do have those crossover events. They've already experimented with the Worlds Collide theme concept, and probably that's the direction they'll head. And NXT will have its own dates and everything. They'll probably cut back on pay-per-views.
Hell no, man. Survivor Series is going to be 5 on 5 on 5. NXT 5 on 5 on 5 elimination match. Yes, historic. Calling it now. Going to happen this year. Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT.
Already?
Already, man. NXT going to get
Survivor Series Chicago.
Yeah, and Vince is petty, so NXT will be the first team eliminated.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
man might be petty. I don't know, Cal. I'm gonna burst your bubble here. I mean,
Burst this ball.
weekend we still have one final takeover during that weekend. We're the last one to get it, and we're gonna get War Games.
Yes.
Look towards War Games. Survivor Series is not happening. Maybe next year. You're Kyle. I'm sorry.
Now, by no means, I don't think takeovers go. I think really they're trying. This is just spitballing. I think they're trying to see how AEW schedule is going to come out. I think they're going to try to counter.
Yeah.
counter a lot, try to put their shows when they announce their shows, stuff like that. That you've already seen a little bit of before.
Yeah, it's business at the end of the day. Yeah.
And that's why I don't think they're going to the main roster or anything like that. Their main focus is against them. They're not worried about
Yeah, I can see that, man. I can see that.
the main roster.
The main roster.
No, you're right. And then there's with Access gaining Impact and New Japan and Wild Wrestling, like wrestling is becoming, not that it's full mainstream, it's getting out there a lot more than it has in, I don't know, I can't even remember.
Yeah, man. Wrestling's getting sexy, is what it is.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Which brings us to
everybody
our
loves
next
NXT.
match. Pete Dunne and, what is it, Angel Garza? What the hell is Angel Garza, you guys? Like, who the hell is this guy?
Yo,
He's the Hispanic Rick Rude or something? What the hell's going on here?
And if he's not, who is? He's got the mustache for it too. I mean, he's got that nice Mexican Hispanic mustache going. I think he's got it. He's got the girls in the palm of his hand.
I could
all
hear the
guys are
women. I
colored.
could hear the women at Full Sail. Like, I audibly could hear women chanting for him over men. Like,
yo, he made that grandma moist.
Oh,
Tampa grandma, they would always
The
fight with
Champa
him.
grandma, yes. That's the same one, yes.
Hey, she moved on from Champa to Garza, man.
Damn.
who the hell is Angel Garza? You guys were talking about him like you know more about him. Like, I don't know this guy.
So,
first time I seen
Teach
him
him
was in
some, Vince. Teach him.
I mean, I'll
I-
let Sebastian go. He probably
Personally,
knows
I thought
more.
he was like Epico. I thought he was one of the.
No,
First
I-
of all, Unico is not even like. He's just, what is he, Tongan?
Nico, no.
I thought he
no,
was
yeah.
part of the Shining Stars, man.
No, he's over there with Tamatonga. He's not even.
I thought he was
no,
one of
he's-
Carlito's cousins, man.
Epico and Primo. That's what he thought. One of the.
Oh, I'm thinking about Unico, but the Sin Cara one.
No,
no.
I'm thinking he's one of.
Wait,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
mixed up. Sebastian, what was your point?
the first time I seen him was this breakout tournament, and I'm very big on him so far. I think he has all the makings to be a real heel. Like you said, the women love him. We all know us men hate those guys.
It's one of those classic women love
Yeah.
him. Want to be with him, men hate him. Type.
Yeah. And his in-ring works fine. They've already thrown him on 205 Live for an episode. And it speaks a lot. They're putting him in there with Pete Dunne.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how many guys back there would like to go one-on-one with Pete Dunne in a 10-minute
And-
match?
How
A
many-
little interesting note for Pete Dunne and Angel Garza, like just through coincidence, both of these guys started when they were like around 10 years old, like child prodigies in wrestling, basically.
Yeah,
you had
brought that up.
yeah, you had Pete Dunne trained more gritty, more backyard style, learned through through trainers, whatever. Then you had Garza, obviously part of a prestigious lucha family, has more of that type of upbringing. So it's the same career paths, but different ways to get there.
Yeah.
I'm very. I think he, like I said, has all the makings to be a great. In a TV in 2 hours, I think he's going to be a nice pro.
If anything, it's inspired me to get those kind of pants.
Dude, what's with the dude
But
tearing
can you
his
pull
pants
off?
off?
But can you pull off the Magic Mike pant?
I don't
ripoff?
know, man. Those little tights are like grabbing up for dear life.
This is terrible. Let's move on, man. Pete Dunne taps him out after like breaking his hand. It was a cool spot because he countered a moonsault into like an armbar and then turned it into breaking his fingers.
Oh, yeah.
To me, in my, I don't know, maybe.
You completely cut out there.
Oh,
Technical
to me.
difficulties, folks.
No, I was just saying. To me, the ending seemed a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seemed like they were not in community. It seemed a little sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I saw that. I don't know. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah, I didn't really say. I thought the match was not just that reversal. There was a lot of reversal in the match, like so many good, just quick sequences. Really played to both guys.
It was
I really
arguably
enjoyed
the
it.
best match on the card.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I would put it there too. Because everything else was either didn't add up to it or was more for story purpose instead of match quality.
And like I said, just being in the ring with Pete Dunne is a big step. And look, gave Pete Dunne a good match. It wasn't no squash or extended squash. Angel got a lot of offense. I really like him. I think.
Yeah.
I think these kind of matches are a lot more valuable than just having a regular squash match. Like both guys look good at the end of it. Both get value. Guys like clearly he's got the potential to be one of the top tier heels on this show. Like, and then Dunn, what do you guys think they're gonna do with him? Like he's kind of just like wandering around right now.
He's going to wind up in a high-profile story once stuff clears up. I mean, Dunn is just too captivating. There's a reason why he held that NXT UK title for so long. I hate to say the reason is because they didn't have a program for him to defend it on. But still, nonetheless, he's held that belt forever. And he's a huge name. He's not just going to fall off a cliff. Dunn's got a bright future. I could easily see him transitioning to SmackDown or Raw, probably Raw, between the two. But
Okay.
He's so young.
he's super
He's
young,
so
man. He's super young, dude.
You know, who else is pretty young? The Street Profits. Didn't they have like a segment, like the promo segment? What's their future looking like?
Yeah, they were in Central Park.
Yeah,
I mean,
walking around Central
still-
Park.
Still,
Got a nice, once again, nice camera, man. Nice camera. Super high def, looking real good. This part, I'm not gonna lie, I was in the grocery store picking up some ice cream and dog food, so I had to actually pause this part when I was checking out. So all I caught from it was they were in MSG, talking about their experience in the garden and in I think Times Square is where they are or something.
Central Park.
Central Park.
Yeah, they were
excuse
just
me.
talking about how like they've been here, they were at the garden, like they've done all this stuff, but they feel like something's missing. Like they don't feel right the way they lost the title. They don't feel right not being champions. You know, going on Raw and everything, and not having that title around their waist. So I guess that's what they were insinuating, where they're leading to. But what do you guys think? Like, there's on Raw, they still haven't had a match. They're still basically narrators. Essentially, they're the. But I don't even know.
I don't even know what to
Like,
think anymore without just making a bold guess, but I can't really give a confident answer in where I think they're going. I feel like they are legitimately up in the air between NXT and Raw where they're gonna wind up. They
Yeah,
do.
and then I think the promo had anything of like consequence in it. They just basically said, "Yo, we were in Madison Square Garden. That was cool, but you know what's missing is our titles. We want our titles back." That was the gist of their promo,
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
They actually said they actually name drop next week though. Kind of want a rematch, so it'll be interesting.
Oh
That
yeah,
gets announced somewhere for the week.
shows how much I'm paying attention, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Cameron
So
Grimes.
that was anyway. Go ahead. We had Cameron Grimes. Like,
yeah, taking on Raul Mendoza.
Mendoza.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dude, he runs the ropes into a drop kick. Looks gorgeous. Raul does. I absolutely love that move. It seemed smoother than like some guys that walk the ropes to do a springboard. Like that actually felt like it carried the momentum over, and it was really good. These guys, for one, Cameron Grimes is a future champ in my book.
Yo, I got a question. Since I haven't been really watching, what's up with Top Hat?
Carney
What's
Roots. His whole thing is he's like supposed to you kind of know what the vaudevillains were supposed to incite, like the old carnival days. It's kind of like a modern take on that instead of coming out to like a black and white graphic essentially. That's what I got out of it, at least. I don't know about you guys.
I honestly just thought it was just him randomly finding a hat invest that he liked and just came out to
Yeah,
that.
that's what it looked like.
No,
Like,
the
I don't-
commentators were putting him over. They were putting him over. Throwback to the old Carney days. You can't trust him. You couldn't trust the Carnies, and you can't trust him.
like he looked like he hadn't slept in days. Like he
Looked
just looked like a
dirty.
regular person from Carolina, you know.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks, man. Because I just run around wearing a fucking top hat. Like,
You know what? I don't know shit about the Carolinas. That's what I think you guys look like over there now.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm loading up some more jokes for later. Okay. Grimes gets the win with that double stomp that looks way more devastating from him than when Kofi does it. The way he does it, man, it's with perfection. It's a nasty finisher. I worry it's not going to translate well when he's in a main event program. It doesn't look as devastating. But for right now, taking out lower card and mid cards, I think it suits him.
It's kind of tough when you see Kofi doing it and Balor doing it.
Yeah.
Various other wrestlers have incorporated already, and for him to incorporate that, it seems kind of.
And as a finisher, where them, it's just, a transitional move.
It's better than a Bailey.
Yeah, you got him on that one.
I mean,
Say,
a lot of wrestlers do use it, and someone that also does that move is Dakota Kai.
Yeah, she's
NXT.
returning. We got a little ad.
She's been out for a minute.
What's her character? I'm not familiar with Dakota Kai.
Tell him, man. Learn this guy something.
I mean, a lot of people have kind of compared her to like a newer Bailey in the sense that she's just like that bubbly baby face that you kind of root for, and everybody just got really behind her because she was the one mainly bullied by Shayna Baszler when she was making her rise up the women's division, and so that's her thing. So she's kind of like the Sami Zayn underdog of the women's division right now, and like she got hurt unfortunately, but like with her coming back, I'm really excited, especially since like the women's division like needs a little bit more people in there since Shayna kind of went through everybody already.
Okay.
real quick on that note too, Dakota's returning, and I don't know if you pay attention to this or not, but over on the UK side of things, Tegan Knox.
Yeah, that's
Tegan Knox is the one that broke her leg, right?
she tore her ACL.
I think it was ACL, yeah.
Okay.
She tore like everything, meniscus, ACL, yeah.
Jeez.
She
Damn.
has a couple contusions.
I'm having Derrick Rose flashbacks right now.
I mean, it's completely.
But she's been out for like 300 plus days now, I think.
Yeah,
In a minute.
332 days or something like that. They said when she made her return, somewhere around that.
Yeah, like once I hear like Vince said, once we hear ACL, meniscus, whatever, that's like got trigger warnings, man.
Dude, I'd be more paranoid about Jinder Mahal winning the title, but that's
The slander out of nowhere.
I'm gonna die on the hill that Jinder Mahal wasn't the worst WWE champion ever. He wasn't the best, but he wasn't that bad either.
he was the second word.
He's up there.
Great colleague had him beat.
Slander.
Great colleague had him beat, but other than that,
Jesus. Backstage, we had Candice LeRae pissing and moaning. It's not fair. Io Shirai is part of the triple threat badge. She's been jumping people, being really mean. So William Regal's like, "You're right. I can't take her out of the match, but I'll add you to it." And he's like, "You know what? If Rhea Ripley wins her match, maybe we'll make it a fatal 5-way." And it's just like, okay, I see where this is going.
hey, it makes sense though. If Mia Yim's in this fucking match, Candice should be in. Just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. Me getting looked real dumb last week. Not gonna lie.
One week, Rico telling her to go away. She has no complaint or no legitimate gripes, and next week, oh, you're in the number one contenders match.
Oh yeah, but that led us to our main event. Rhea Ripley taking on Shayna Baszler in just a straight up match. No title on the line. It's implied if Ripley wins that she will be part of the Fatal 5-Way. This match was, I don't know about you guys, but this match was super predictable. I knew what was going to go on going into the whole night. Ripley's going to come out looking strong. She's going to look like she's getting the upper hand, and sure enough, that's what happened. And then Baszler's henchwomen come in for the save. Henchwomen, man.
You know, it's like
Jessica McDuke or Jessamine McDuke. No, Jessamine Duke. Jesus, I mess up her name.
Too.
I mess her name up so often.
That's still wrong. But like, I guess if you view wrestling that way, yeah, things are gonna be predictable. I just viewed it as like,
dude.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember when Ripley first debuted. She was very out of like, fresh out of being a soccer player. I think that's what it was. Just long hair, just clean baby face, nothing, right? Whatever. And just if you remember that, and then you see her complete transition to this mosh pit badass, man. Like, it's like that's a whole transformation in just a short amount of years, especially being so young too.
Yeah.
Like, she commanded that stage, man. Like, and the crowd got behind her, yo. Like,
she's been doing it forever.
Right, and she hasn't. It's only been several years, and like the crowd was
only like 2 or 3 years.
Right.
She debuted her first Mae Young Classic, and then by the second one, she was new Rhea Ripley. Like a whole year, took, and she transformed.
Completely.
I'll have to go back and watch her first match.
Yo, like
go
back and watch that, and then watch her now, man. It's just like that's a complete transformation, dedication to what you've done. And you see, even when she walked out on the stage, she just commanded the whole crowd. And you're going up against a champion. You're from NXT UK. You haven't been here at NXT. This is NXT home court. We get the champion Baszler coming out, and she's kind of not even in the same spotlight as Ripley. And even at some points overpowered her, man. Like this was not an opponent that you see Baszler normally face. It was just an unknown factor. And then unfortunately, the let's fight, let's play Baszler buddies come over here and then interfere, and then Ripley wasn't having it. Believe it or not, she took that chair shot and just smacked.
Yeah, she took the DQ.
Folded off. Yeah, she took the DQ and said, "You don't fight me. Forget this match."
Now, is she still gonna get entered in the match next week, or because she got DQ'd?
No, she got DQ'd. Technically, Shayna won that match. If it was the other way around, and be a case if she won via disqualification, then the case could be made. But I think they did that specifically so she doesn't get added to the match, and then later down the line they build up to Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is one of them situations which she's reserved for baby faces. But, Rhea kind of a tweener, I guess. Why not let Shafir just punch you one time?
My favorite.
Yeah, you could have done that. Yeah.
My favorite.
Why?
My favorite match that did that was The Miz. The Miz was in a title match with Ziggler, and he started begging Maurice to slap him to get himself DQ'd for the win. And exactly. That was smart. You think it'd be obvious logic.
I just don't understand. I'm too much kayfabe, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. If baby faces had logic, man, wrestling would be less engaging, I guess. I don't know. I do not know.
You could just say she was just caught up in the emotion of the match, being focused facing the champion. I guess if you're gonna keep it that. But so where do you guys think that Baszler goes from here?
I mean, you got Yim, LeRae,
who's in a
Shirai.
Baszler?
Who's the last person in that Fatal 4-Way now?
It's Bianca Belair.
Bianca, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking. I genuinely don't know.
No, I believe it is. So you got Bianca.
Io Shirai.
Who's face?
And Bianca Belair.
LeRae and Yim are arguably the two faces. So that's gonna take out Shirai and Belair. I say Yim. I think Yim is gonna get that belt. I think so. In my heart of hearts, I think that's going to Yim.
No, I don't think
I'm
so.
going Belair.
Yeah,
I'm
I can see that too.
go completely left field here, and Rhea's gonna be so upset about the whole thing. It's gonna be a non-finish maybe, or somehow she gets included. Because here's the thing, Candice and Io, I just automatically take them out because they're
Yeah.
clearly not that feud. That takes them out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Bianca and you have Mia, and both of those women have already had a singles match against Shayna, and they've already lost. So I'm guessing that either one of them, they somehow both get added to a match, or it's Rhea somehow still gets that title shot because no one else has been built up to take on Shayna, and some kind of like TV episode. It's not a takeover match. Like the next title defense, unless they do it on a TV episode, would be at Takeover. And Bianca and Mia right now they've already had the Takeover match, and right now we've already seen that match. I think we're ready for someone new.
Be like, Bianca wins, Rhea somehow gets added to actual title match, the triple threat, and Shayna ends up not being the one later.
Yeah.
I'll take you back a little bit on what Vince was saying. Like, to me, like that would seem like the most. You say it's left field. To me, I see that as the most logical booking, since you have, like as you said, had a title shot. The Rhea Ripley got an amazing reaction right now, and clearly she's a tweener, right? That could fit that mold, and then you can have. So when you have someone like that beat like a Baszler, you can have her easily face a babyface or easily face, and she could just switch from that because she's found that little sweet spot in between both. So for me, like that would honestly that would probably be the best choice out of all of them. I mean, I love Bianca Belair, I love Mia Yim, but to me, like at the moment, that seems probably the better option.
We're just over here bursting Kyle's bubble because he really wants Mia to be in there, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Like, don't get me wrong, she's good and everything, but I don't think she's gonna be. I don't think she's gonna be the one to take down Baszler.
Okay, so with that being said, that is our show, folks. Thank you guys for joining us.
Well,
Go
real
ahead.
quick, a lot announced next week. You got the street fight riddle. You got the North American title match that will be on USA in the first hour. That was announced tonight.
Yeah, told you.
Personal, potential tag title match is being teased in this #1 contenders match. We're talking about how the new NXT is going to look. Week number one's like a banger. That's all I'm saying.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I hope they have pyro. I bet that'd be cool.
And
At
look,
least
I know,
the steam that they used to have for takeovers.
Yeah, bring it back.
I know a lot of us last week were saying that Levitine and Strong should be the main event on the network. But look, everybody's viewing the network. It's going to watch it anyway.
Yep.
The new audience you got to sell to is going to
Give
be
them a
the
big
guys
pay-per-view
tuning in
level
on
match.
USA, and they're going to try to get that. I completely agree with putting this on USA.
Yeah, me too.
So it's definitely a lot of changes, a lot of things coming up. What do we got coming up next in the next few days on the SmackDraw pod?
Okay, so
Let the people know.
tomorrow, folks, we're going to have our predictions episode. Vince is going to be headlining the show, along with, I believe, not Colin, but Kevin and Rob Roode. Vince, have fun with trying to keep Rob under control. Then following up, we have our throwback episode this Saturday. So
What you guys watching?
I believe it's WCW Clash of the Champions 88. Can't
Wow.
wait to see
First
that.
one ever.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the oldest pay-per-view I've ever watched in its entirety. That will be going up Sunday, and then, of course, on Sunday, whether you join us live stream or Monday when the podcast goes up, we'll be recapping Clash of Champions 2019. And then I am going to get some damn rest. Oh, actually, hold on. Heads up. I will not be present for the predictions or Clash of Champions this Sunday. I'll do the throwback with, I think it's just going to be me and you, Seb. But Vince is going to be hosting our predictions episode. And Benji, with so much success hosting SummerSlam, I've requested you to go ahead and host our pay-per-view episode. Make it feel a little special. You know what I mean?
Yay,
That's something you do.
Yay.
Yay for you. I'm telling you, man. Just the big pay-per-views from now on, man. Just the big ones. Okay, we'll give you this. We'll give you like Fastlane.
So y'all make sure you're tuning into the predictions episode. Vince is gonna be headlining this one. It's gonna be amazing. Make sure you tune in to Clash of Champions 1951, whatever.
Whatever year it is. I think, like I
Make
said,
sure you check that out. They're gonna
We
be
had a
doing
poll
amazing.
and it won. So.
it won by a
You
landslide.
know, but you know what? Sometimes going back and looking at all these old matches, like you learn a lot from it. It's gonna be good. WCW was doing some good stuff and then Sunday we got Clash of Champions. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awesome. Y'all make sure you tune in, subscribe to YouTube, get this thing to 100 subscribers so this guy can get his custom URL and shut up about it.
Yes,
And we're
please.
all-
I'm tired
That
of.
way, Benji can wear his face and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I don't-
Benji's
I
gonna
don't
wear
know
his
about that.
makeup
That was
on
a bit
air.
Oh.
presumptuous of me, but listen.
Look, we know you almost died, but you still gotta stick by it. Just because you died and came back to life.
That's a great thing to tell somebody.
So Benji, how about
But yeah.
how about you hit us with our outro, man? How about you?
No, I'm gonna do something different. Let's throw a little curveball. He's been a little quiet right now. Let's give the honors to Vince. Let him close this.
We made him close last
Okay.
time. Go ahead.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Like, if you're new to the channel, you could always find us on Apple Music, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify. Like Benji said, help us get to 100 subscribers. Like the channel. I think that's it for us. I'll see you guys tomorrow for predictions, and we'll catch you for the rest of the week.
Peace.
See? Yeah.
That was nice.
Need more warning if you guys are just gonna randomly throw me to do the outros again. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for tomorrow. I'm just gonna randomly throw that to Kevin.
Just do it. Like I did it to him last time. Whatever.